Over the past couple months at New Life, I've been preaching through the New Testament book of 1 Corinthians, and this Sunday I'm up to 1 Corinthians 13, which is the famous chapter on love. And so I'm using this video series to talk about the different characteristics outlined in that chapter. And so far we've talked about how love is patient and kind, how it does not envy, it does not boast, and it is not proud. The next characteristic that Paul lists is that love is not rude. In the original Greek, another way of saying it is it's not ill-mannered, it's not disrespectful. If you put it in a positive spin, you might say that love is respectful, love is courteous, love treats others with good manners. Now, certainly we all have to deal with rude people in our lives, whether they be clients or coworkers or even family members on occasion. And sometimes we're rude to others as well. And when I think about what I'm communicating when I'm rude to someone, I think what I'm essentially saying is that you are not worth the effort that it takes to treat with respect and courtesy. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you feel. I'm going to say and do whatever I please, and I don't care if I offend you. I think that's what I'm communicating when I am rude to other people. And now, generally, I'm not that kind of way, but certainly there are times that I can treat people with rudeness. So how do we become people who love each other in ways that are not rude or ill-mannered or disrespectful? I think it begins by embracing the fact that every human being is created in the image of God. That God tells us that every human being, it doesn't matter what race or ethnicity, nationality, gender, sexual orientation, religion, it doesn't matter. Every single human being is created in the image of God and is therefore worthy of respect. They're worthy of being treated with respect and honor. When I choose to behave rudely towards someone, basically I'm disrespecting not just them, but I'm disrespecting the God who created them. And not only so, I'm disrespecting God, the God whom I represent, by how poorly I am treating them. That's what happens when we're rude towards others. But in case that isn't enough, Jesus takes it one step further in Matthew 25. He tells a parable about how at the end of the time, a king will separate the people before him, like he separates sheep from goats, and he'll say to one side of them, he'll say, "Come into the kingdom, because when I was hungry, you fed me, and when I was thirsty, you gave me something to drink. When I needed clothes, you clothed me. When I was a stranger, you welcomed me. When I was sick or in prison, you visited me." And it says that the people will ask him, King, when did we see you this way and treat you that way? And the king will say, "Whatever you did to the least of these brothers of mine, you did to me." Jesus amazingly goes one step further than just saying every human being is created in the image of God. He says that however you treat the least of these, that is how you treat him. Whoever you're rude to, he says, you're being rude to Jesus himself. Whoever you're disrespectful to, he says, you're being disrespectful to Jesus himself. Whatever you do to the least of these, you do to Jesus. So remember the question, how do we become people who are not rude but are acting in love that is courteous and respectful towards others? Again, I think it begins by recognizing that we're all created in the image of God, that we represent God and how we treat others, that others are made in the image of God, and so we should treat them with respect. But it also helps to realize that Jesus himself identifies with the least of these. And whoever we treat as the least of these, that is how we're treating Jesus. And if I remember that I am a recipient of God's gracious love, that even when I deserved to be mistreated, he instead gave me grace, then it helps me to not treat people rudely, but to treat people with a love that is courteous and respectful.